Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to VSL here for round number 7 of the championship and for the second special event of the season. Of course, my name is Ira Burn. I'm going to be taking you through the action here as we take in the Autodromo Nazionale's Monza, the Temple of Speed here for the Italian Grand Prix. And of course, this is the second special race of the season, and of course, it is going to be the fantastic F2 cars in play. So of course we'll have a one-shot qualifying, and then we'll go into the sprint race, and then of course into the feature race. And obviously, while one-shot qualifying is going on, I'll take you on a full lap here of the 5.7 kilometer circuit in length of Monza, nearly 5.8 kilometers actually in full length, as we wait for the drivers to get themselves underway. Going to be interesting. F2 cars versus the F1 cars, very different in terms of the way that they feel. So these guys could throw up a bit of a mixed up order, but we're going to find out what's going to happen in just a few moments. And actually, just been told we've actually been given a 1 minute break before getting into things. So of course, yeah, I'm going to take you through the 5.7, almost 5.8 kilometer track in length, and of course we can look at the points for this race in particular. Of course, being F2, we are working with F2 points. So of course, in the sprint race, obviously the top 8 get a point. Jordan unfortunately has left the session, which is heartbreak for him. But yeah, top 8 get points in the sprint race, and of course it is the top 12 that get points in the feature race, and 2 points for the fastest lap as well in the feature race. But we're going to wait and see what is going to happen as the countdown timer is going. So we'll be jumping on board with a driver and taking us through the Monza circuit. And of course, I'm going to go on board with Acorn here. Right on board with them as we head down in towards turn number 1. Of course, there's only one shot, one opportunity as we head down to the Rettifilio, the first chicane of the track. Breaking down second gear there, getting the car rotated through the Rettifilio we go. Acorn there, good traction on the exit, does climb himself up the order with good traction. Now through Curva Grande, turn number 3 as we approach the first sector split, about to break down into the Della Roggia chicane. 29.2, currently in P3 is Acorn right now, jumping up into P2 but just dropping back down into P4 as we go through the Della Roggia, now into the Lesmos, and this is going to be very tricky in the F2 cars. Of course, the understeer just going to drag them out wide through these corners, and when in dirty air, that's going to come into effect in the race. DRS wide open as we run down in towards the infamous Ascari section, turn 8, 9, 10, also known as Ascari. Breaking down 4th gear through Ascari we go. Very easy to lose the car there on those curbs. Acorn though navigating it well, and now the final run down to the final corner, of course, Parabolica, who is going to be mastering this corner, because you can very easily gain some time on the exit, or like Acorn, you can run wide and lose a fair few positions here, and Acorn will cross the line, and he's not going to be on pole, he's going to be down in P7. So there we go, that is a lap of the Monza circuit here in Italy in the F2 cars. So yeah, definitely going to be an interesting one when it comes to the sprint race and the feature race. But it is Kev Rusky who takes pole position with a 31.3, nearly 4 tenths ahead of second man Excite. Stephen currently in P3 with Y Racer in P4, Tony in P5 with JP in P6, Acorn in P7 as we were on board with him. Ryan Berry comes home in P8, and then of course Speed Newgarden coming through with a P9. ERT Jordan obviously unfortunately disconnected from the session at the start, and then obviously we got Risky, Julie Show and W Sab, and that unfortunately for those 3 drivers unable to get times on the board, which is not good for them here in one-shot qualifying. But the race isn't won in qualifying, it's won in the feature race, and of course in sprint qualifying. So we're going to see who's going to be taking the first set of points here in the sprint race. Of course, 8 points for first place, 7 points for second, 6 points for third, 5 points for fourth, 4 points for fifth, 3 points for sixth, 7th gets you 2 points, and of course 8th place gets you that final point paying position. And obviously what I'm going to do now is also bring up the stream so I can see what everyone is saying in the chat as well, because I do like to interact with you guys while we are racing. Let's have a look here. So we got Stephen coming through, said hope you can get a good result this time with me commentating. Well, let's hope. Omi in the chat saying hello Omi, how are you doing today, my guy? Of course, while we are in a bit of a transition, of course, we are in the Formula Euro Open third of the season, the second of the regional championships on offer. And of course, last time out, we did see victory getting taken by Julie Show. Obviously, Kev Rusky was not there for the race last time out, so Kev Rusky going to be trying to get a bit of a comeback here for today's race. Obviously, Jordan managed to get himself 8 points last time out, and of course, obviously joining Julie Shaw on the podium was Y Racer and Acorn. Will we see a repeat performance from those two getting themselves up there on the podium? Time will tell. 4th place man last week was of course Risky, and of course we had Stephen coming through for a P5 finish, and we had JP coming through picking up 10 points last time out, and of course we had Jordan picking up 8 points. And in the chat, Jordan has confirmed internet is an issue for him, so he will not be able to race here tonight, which is a massive shame for Jordan. I know he would have been hoping to come through and show what he can do in an F2 car here tonight. We're going to have to see now, as I believe we'll have a formation lap first. Yep, formation laps, and then it is going to be 11 laps in the sprint race. Of course, in the sprint race, you don't need to make a pit stop, so all of these guys can stay on these tyres. They don't need to make that pit stop. And with that, you got Newgarden, who is the order has been changed slightly from what I remember from one shot. What has gone on here? Oh yeah, sorry. I just remembered it. It's reverse, isn't it? Yeah, I just remembered. Yeah, the top 10 is reversed, isn't it? Yeah, I know. I just remembered. Don't worry, Omi. I thought of it just before you put that comment in, so don't worry. I was a little bit kerfuffled there. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit bewildered. Of course, F2 not something that I generally have much experience commentating over, so yeah, a little bit unfamiliar with the F2 formats. But as long as the racing is as good as always, then we're in for an absolute treat. And of course, F2 cars going to be a lot closer and a lot more about just being consistent and obviously setups and everything, as Julie Shaw and Kev Rusky getting disqualified from the session, so they're going to be starting with some cold tyres on the grid, as Omi in the chat says excited for F2. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, F2 is a bit of a unknown. We're going to be seeing guys up the top who normally we don't see, but we're going to have to wait and see, because Newgarden has gone for a set of soft tyres. Everyone else on a set of medium, so that's going to be a little bit of a variation in the strategy. Can Newgarden, on those soft tyres, get clear? Because remember, Jordan's not in this car. So, technically, Newgarden is technically the man on pole position, but it's all going to be about the start for this man right here in the ART. And by the way, just to give everyone a bit of an update as we wait for those 5 red lights to come on. In fact, here they come now for 5 red lights. Lights out and it's underway here, and Ryan Berry getting an absolutely fantastic start. Oh my god, Newgarden's gone around. What is going on there? Newgarden losing it on traction, collecting several cars in that. Hemmexite getting an absolute time penalty right there. Obviously, he's got no front wing now. The front wing is completely gone, but that is a very chaotic start indeed. Obviously, Newgarden, I think, potentially not... didn't have good control over his throttle, and obviously lit up the rears a bit too much, and obviously that can happen. But yeah, Speed Newgarden out of this race, and a lot of drivers with front wing damage, and of course a safety car here on lap number 1 in the sprint race. Now, as I was going to say, take you through the changes, just so you guys know. Obviously, F1 cars are usually the format in VSL, so obviously this being a special races in F2 cars, let me just allow for everyone just to understand who really is in what team here. So obviously, the Ferraris are in the Prima Racing team, so as you can see, we got Ryan Berry and Tony there in the Prima Racing team. Obviously, the Red Bulls are in the Virtuosis. Obviously, we got Acorn and O'Stephen there in the Virtuosis. And then, of course, we do have the AMG Mercedes team who are in the Carlins. So, obviously, the Carlins is Mexite and Sab, obviously they're in the Carlin Racing team. Alpines are in the High Tech, so I believe High Tech, yeah, that is Stephen in the High Tech. So I was a little bit mistaken. I thought, I thought it was a little bit different there, but yeah, Stephen, and I believe Judy Show there in the High Tech as well. So yeah. High Tech is the Alpines. Obviously, we do have the ARTs of Y Racer, and of course Newgarden, who's unfortunately out of this race. Of course, they are McLarens in the F1 races, but obviously for F2 they are in the ART. Campos Racing in the Alpha Tauris. Do we have anyone in the Campos Racing here tonight? I don't believe so. So yeah, no one in the Campos Racing, meaning no Alpha Tauris here tonight. Alfa Romeos, obviously they're going to be taking over the Dams Racing team, and like with the Alpha Tauris and Campos, not here tonight. And obviously we got Trident, obviously JP in the Trident, and I believe the only one in Trident. Yeah, absolutely. And obviously he races in the Haas F1 car in the Formula 1 side of things. And then of course we've got Charuz Racing, obviously that is Jordan, and just making sure, and yeah, it's Risky. So yeah, a little bit, I'm a little bit unfamiliar when it comes to F2, I can't lie. But we're going to learn. We're going to learn. The one thing that I'm not unfamiliar with is good hard racing, which of course these guys are going to give us in abundance. And of course, looking at the tyres everyone's going to do, Y Racer has gone for a set of the soft tyres for the restart. And this could be interesting for Speed Y Racer. Obviously, he is down there right now, so we're going to have to see how he gets on. Obviously, as the top 7 are bunched up together, and we're waiting for the rest of the grid to close up the gap. But yeah, obviously with it being a sprint qualifying, it gives the opportunity for more points to be earned by these guys here tonight. And of course, with more points available, it's a big chance to get yourselves up the order in the championship. And of course, in the championship, I'm just going to bring it up right now. So, in the overall championship, we do have Julie Show currently leading the way. Yeah, leading the way is Julie Show. Kev Rusky currently in P2 in the championship. P3 is currently going the way of Jordan in the championship, but Jordan not here, so an opportunity has opened for this man. Stephen currently in P4 in the championship. Ryan Berry is P5 in the championship, so an opportunity to him as well. And then of course we got Y Racer and Acorn in 6th and 7th, Newgarden in 8th, Risky in 9th, and of course M. Ryan, who believe is Ryan is here, and he M. Ryan. It doesn't look like M. Ryan is here, so yeah. Yeah, M. Ryan not here, so obviously it is just Acorn on his own individual. See here tonight. Safety car is still going around, and a 5-second speeding penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Risky, and that is not what he wanted whatsoever. But as I was saying, M. Ryan in P10 in the championship, with Tony in P11, N89 underscore A in P12, W Sab in P13, M Excite currently in P14, and of course we got JP in P15. Of course we got the reserve driver of Lewis Craig. Unfortunately hasn't had the opportunity to race thus far. He did race in round number 5. He is currently down in 16th place, and we got the new driver in Jack Craig in the Alpha Tauri. He is obviously Alpha Tauri. Sorry, I said new driver. He's not really a new driver. He was in round number 1 of the championship and hasn't gone well for him in total thus far. But yeah, in terms of the overall championship, I mean, we saw Julie Show take the championship lead last time out, but of course this man, Kev Rusky, wasn't here to oversee it, and the safety car should be coming in this lap. Yes, it is. So we'll go on board with Acorn, and Acorn is going to be the man that we're going to stay on board with to make sure that we get a good restart here from Ryan Berry. Of course, Ryan Berry going to back up the pack, and there's not going to be many laps in this race to go once we get back underway. We'll be beginning lap number 5, and there's only 11 laps in the sprint race. So we have to wait and see what happens here as Ryan Berry comes through Parabolica, and he's gone. He has gone. He's actually got a decent gap early on to Acorn, but running a bit wide through Parabolica, that's going to allow Acorn to close back up. Look at this, Kev Rusky closing in on Jordan. I don't think Jordan is here. I think it is just the AI. And with that, oh, the AI slamming on the brakes there, and JP getting caught out, and that is a little bit of contact between Stephen and Kev Rusky there. In behind there's a little bit of contact, a little bit of a yellow flag going on there as ERT Jordan's AI will close back down, and oh my god, Tony had to squeeze through, as did Y Racer. And look at that, around the outside goes M Excite, and that is obviously the AI causing a bit of an issue there for Jordan in terms of incidents and that's getting involved in at the moment, as Stephen gets through on Kev Rusky for P3. Important for these two in terms of the championship, getting as many points out of this sprint race as possible. But of course, Stephen trying to get himself up into 3rd in the championship. Kev Rusky trying to retake the race, the championship lead. But as it currently is right now, I mean, Ryan Berry 1.1 second the gap to Acorn. Acorn 1.4 ahead of Stephen. Stephen going to be under a bit of pressure soon from Kev Rusky, especially coming into turn number 1. Y Racer has just got through on Tony. Obviously, Y Racer on those soft tyres. it's definitely looking pretty good for him on those soft tyres, that is for sure. New fastest lap coming in from Ryan Berry, and that looks like it's Julie Show. And oh, Risky, we just went through that, and yeah, Risky losing the back end. He's gone around, he's lost his front wing. Julie Show up in the P10, and W Sab obviously coming through into P11. MXI all over the back of Tony for P7 here, and MXI unable to get that position done. And O Stephen has managed to close up to Acorn, so Acorn falling away from Ryan Berry and falling back into the clutches of O Stephen, who has Kev Rusky in behind for tow. But a mistake through the De La Rocha chicane for O Stephen drops him about a second back from Acorn and brings him immediately under pressure from Kev Rusky. Runs a little bit deep on the exit of the second Lesmo, and now tucking into the slipstream. He is going to close up marginally, but it's not going to be close enough to go for a move. But he has a little peak though. Breaking down into Ascari goes Kev Rusky now, and this is going to be all about trying to get a good run out of these corners. As we see MXI and Tony there doing battle. I just caught that as Tony able to get the job done on the exit of Ascari. Good battling going on from these two, as they're still going to go side by side into Parabolica. But meanwhile, our eyes are going back up towards the front, because look at this. Kev Rusky and JP closing in on O Stephen, and could we be seeing some overtakes down into turn 1? Look at this as they close up on each other. In the slipstream goes Kev Rusky. Has a little look to the left, look to the right, and doesn't want to send one down the inside there. Lap 7 of 11. We're not that far away from, I believe DRS has just been enabled actually. So yeah, DRS is enabled this lap, but we're not far away from some DRS overtaking action. And of course, Old Stephen's going to be looking to get through on Acorn here, but the case is, will Kev Rusky be able to follow him through? And does Old Stephen have the pace to pull away from Acorn and drop him out of DRS range? That's going to be the question. I don't think we'll see any overtakes happening into Ascari, but maybe down in towards turn number 1. Or actually, given how close he is now, he might actually prefer to go for it here on the run down into Ascari. DRS wide open, closing up to Acorn, and he's on the inside line, and he should get out. Oh my god, what have I just seen there from Kev in the background? And that's triggered a second safety car here in this race. What did I just witness with Kev? Absolute back end stepping out there in the back, and Kev really, I don't know what exactly happened there, because you know, it's a straight, unless he's had a rear lockup, but incredible scenes. Incredible scenes there as Kev Rusky loses control of his car, goes into the wall and out of the sprint race. Risky gets a drive through for speeding under the pit lane. Under the safety car, sorry, yeah, speeding under the safety car. Risky getting a little bit risky with the Delta, and he's been given a drive-through penalty. Of course, he will move up into P11 now, as he overtakes the position where Kev Rusky obviously lost control of his car, and that looks like it could have been locking up the rear tyres under braking that caused that incident for Kev. So yeah, definitely heartbreak for Kev here, and advantage Julie Show. Julie Show obviously down in P8 is an extra point gain for Julie Show, but Julie Show wants more out of this. I don't think we'll be seeing anyone come into the pits at all on this lap, because quite frankly it's just giving up a lot of track position. And of course, for the safety car, the time the safety car comes in, you're not going to have much to really you're not going to have many laps to try and get overtakes done and get back into a good position. So yeah, I mean, I think yeah, everyone is going to be staying out. No one's going to be coming in. Ryan Berry, of course, is going to stay out. Stephen should stay out. Probably going to try and bait some people in, but yeah, not going to do that. Acorn currently P3, JP P4. Y-Racer on those soft tyres, and this is actually beneficial for Y-Racer because he's currently in P5 on a set of the softs, and they've done half of this race thus far under safety car, so they're not really that worn. Y-Racer has a great opportunity here to get a top 3 finisher in the sprint race. So we're going to see if the man in the ART can get it done. Lap 9 of 11. We are under safety car conditions. It is Ryan Berry that leads the way. And of course we have Stephen in second place. Acorn currently in P3. JP in P4. M-Excite looks like he's just lost the car, so he's fallen down to P9. Y-Racer in P5. Tony in P6. Julie Show up to P7 now. Jordan's AI is currently in P8, and for some reason it is a solid AI, so these guys have to be careful when it comes to overtaking it. M-Excite now down to P9, but he should be able to get P8 back relatively easy. And then we got W Sab and Risky, who I don't think are going to close up to the back. They're down in 10th and 11th. But yeah, I mean, Risky with that drive-through, I mean, it was going to be difficult for him anyway, but yeah, we're going to have to wait and see and find out what's going to happen here, because Ryan Berry backing up the pack, getting ready to go once again here in this race. And it looks like Ryan Berry's actually... he's just caught Stephen napping there. In Parabolica, he's caught Stephen napping. Stephen's caught Acorn napping. JP, the closest man to possibly making an overtake here. In fact, no, Y-Racer closing up in the back. So, are we going to see JP go for this podium position right here? No. He's going to back out of it and not really risk it on the penultimate lap of the race. And my God, look at Y-Racer on those soft tyres. He just has so much more grip than JP up ahead. A little bit of contact between the pair of them, but I mean, Y-Racer trying to get himself up the order, trying to get himself a podium here in the sprint race. In behind, are we seeing any moves occurring in behind? No, we're going to see single file through there. And look at this now, fantastic traction there from Y-Racer. He's not close enough to really send it down the inside. Contact between the pair of them, and that is, yep, that's absolute concertina effect. Y-Racer around Tony. 5-second time penalty for going to the back of Y-Racer. You got W Sab now up in the P7. Julie Show now up into P6 and a net P5 now, because Tony has that 5-second time penalty. JP is in P4. Yeah, a little bit contact between the likes of JP and Y-Racer there. We're going to go back up towards the front because we could be seeing an overtake for the lead here on the final lap, as Stephen, good run through Parabolica, closing in on Ryan Berry, and this is for the victory here in the sprint race. Closing in, he's gaining, he's going to move to the outside for turn 1 as we run down into the Rettifilio, and it's going to be Ryan Berry that holds the inside line and leaves him space on the inside for the second corner. But yeah, Stephen unable to get that move done, so he has a little opportunities remaining. One, of course, is down into Ascari. The other is, of course, down into Parabolica. So now, Stephen, a little bit of a squirrely entrance there from Ryan Berry. That's just going to bring him under a little bit of pressure, but Stephen not having the best of exits through the De La Rocha chicane, through the Lesmos now. Needs to close up more than this if he wants to challenge for this race win. breaking down through the second. Lesmo on the exit now for O'Stephen, trying to close up to Ryan Berry for the sprint race victory. Right now O'Stephen is on 7 points. He wants a full 8 points out of this. Breaking down into Ascari. Good exit out of Ascari here, and he could have an opportunity into Parabolica. And let's have a look, see what it's like. It's a very good exit there from O'Stephen, as he is going to close in, but is he going to be close enough? He's in the slipstream, he's trying to close up, and it doesn't look like he's going to close up enough. But O'Stephen looks a lot quicker through Parabolica, and Ryan Berry hits the back of him. Meanwhile, in the back, he got Risky, dropping down into P10, and that's his race all done with. But to the line will come Ryan Berry, taking victory here in the sprint race. O'Stephen comes across the line in P2, Acorn in P3, Tony will cross the line in P4, but he will drop positions as JP gets P4, Julie Shaw P5, W Sab P6, M Excite P7, and then of course we have Tony coming through to take that final point in P8. Jordan's AI comes through in P9. Y-Racer absolutely fuming with himself. He's down in P10, and of course Risky is gonna come through and take that final position in P11. But yeah, a very chaotic sprint race there. O'Stephen gets driver of the day from the in-game fans, and to be fair, it's hard to disagree with it. It really is. But the only person I could actually say driver of the day for the sprint race is of course that man on the top step of the podium is of course Ryan Berry, and that is a big result for him as in terms of what he has done thus far this season. He's got a second place in round 2. He's got back-to-back podiums in round 3 and 4, and this is his first time back on the podium since then. Of course, it is in the sprint race, so he has to maintain this in terms of the feature race as well. But a race win in the sprint race is a good way to start there for Ryan Berry. So, running for the order one more time is, of course, Ryan Berry, who takes victory ahead of O'Stephen in second place. Acorn in P3 with JP in P4. Julie Shaw in P5 with W Sab in P6. M Excite comes through in P7. Tony takes our final point playing position in P8. Then outside of the points we had Jordan's AI, Speed Y Racer and Risky, and then of course our two non-finishers were of course Kev Risky and Speed Newgarden. Speed obviously at the start, traction getting the better of him as the rear tyres lit up and he lost control of it off the line. And of course Kev Risky under braking into Ascari couldn't keep control of the car and it speared off into the wall. So the F2 cars proven tricky for these guys to master here and get control of. Obviously turning our attention now to the feature race, and we're going to be seeing what is going to happen in the feature race. In terms of the team championship though, I just want to point it out that just talk through the team championship as it currently stands. I believe in terms of leading it, we do have the Alpine team of Julie Shaw and O'Stephen leading the championship. Then of course we've got Kev Rusky and the Aston Martin pairing that are currently second. And then of course we got the Williams pairing of Risky and Jordan in P3. The Ferrari's currently in P4 with the Red Bulls in P5. The McLaren's in P6, Mercedes in P7, Alfa Tauris in P8. The Alfa Romeos are in P9, and then of course we got the Haas F1 team in P10 in the standings. But yeah, it is going to be a very interesting feature race now, because obviously we saw how difficult it was for these guys early on. Obviously Newgarden getting a little bit unlucky with the traction off the line, losing out in his car, and that caused absolute chaos at the start. And then of course the safety car was called out. And yeah, I mean, on top of that, we saw Kev Risky lose control of his car under braking into Ascari, which of course sent him out of this race and brought out a second safety car. So will we see any more safety cars here in the feature race. Let me know predictions right now in the chat. By the way, guys, we are on the road to 200 subscribers, currently on 192. If we can get ourselves to 200 subscribers on this channel, that would be absolutely fantastic. If we can do so, let's try and make that happen before the end of the season, and let's hit that milestone. As we are currently waiting, I don't know if Jordan will be returning for the feature race. I know his internet connection wasn't really helping him out too much, but we have to wait and see, as Risky has left the session. Migrating host going on here, and I think we're getting a lobby restart. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I leave. Yep, I am going to leave, right? So it is a lobby restart. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what exactly was going on there in terms of the lobby itself and why everyone was decided to lead. But yeah, Risky putting out there, yep, red flag, new lobby being created. We'll have to wait and see what goes on there. Just bear with me. We'll go into the showroom now. We'll have the F2 cars, and boom, there we go. We'll just hold it like that for the time being until we get the invites. Of course, we are looking at the Carlins, even though it says the Williams F1 car, I believe. Junior team, the Williams there in F2. Yeah, I was gonna say, right, so it's yeah, it is showing the car then. Right, waiting for the invite, and of course we have joining the brand new session. And of course with that, it is going to be just the main race. 15 laps in the main race, of course, around Monza. When it comes to the F1, of course, it is 22 normally for F1, but F2 is 15 laps awaiting. So we'll have to wait and see and find out what goes on. Of course, the custom grid will be remade now, and everyone will be taking up their results after what happened in the sprint race. Yeah, it looks like no Jordan, so everyone who finished behind Jordan will gain an extra position here, which obviously is fantastic for them. Just making sure that we do have the correct order. As we got Steven saying he bottled the last lap. I mean, you gave it a good attempt into turn one, trying to hang it around the outside. It was going to be difficult there through the Rettifilio, but yeah, I mean, the run out of Ascari was good. Obviously, you was just a little bit too far back, and obviously just outbreaking yourself into Parabolica. And yeah, but it was a good effort nonetheless, and a good P2 to take on into the feature race. So don't be too disheartened. Obviously 7 points in the bag, Steven, so it's a good start for you. So don't feel too disheartened by that. 7 points in the bag, it's nothing to scoff at. Of course, the grid order, as everyone is readying up right now, the grid order is, of course, Ryan Berry, O. Stephen, Acorn, JP, Julie Show, W. Sab, M. Excite, Tony, obviously Jordan not here, so everyone will move up a spot. And yeah, so yeah, Jordan not here, so everyone will move up a spot. So Y Racer will be 9th, 10th will be Risky. Kev will be 11th, New Garden in 12th, and of course, from what we're seeing, we have been joined late arrival from N89R, which of course he'll be coming through in 13th. But 15 laps awaiting these guys here in Tier 2 in the F2 cars, and of course F1, well, we will be back to F1 cars next week, but of course Tier 1 is also going on right now, of course being commentated over by the fantastic Jess Games, so make sure you guys go on over and check out Tier 1, show some support over to Tier 1 as well, and yeah, make sure show some love in the other stream as well, as everyone is getting ready to get themselves underway here for the feature race. 15 laps awaiting these guys, and of course the F2 cars proving very tricky. We saw Newgarden lose it off the line on traction. Will he have better performance this time around? And of course Kev Rusky losing it under braking and DNFing from the race. Not what he needs if he wants to try and get himself back into the overall championship lead. And of course, I mean, he is the champion of the first regional mini championship, which of course was the Middle Eastern and Asia Pacific trophy. That is of course you know, Kev Rusky on that one, and obviously not starting last week puts him already at a 25-point deficit to Julie Shaw, who won last week. And yeah, I mean, crashing out in the sprint race, and Julie Shaw picking up a couple of points just makes that gap even larger to try and close up. And there's only 5 races in total in the Formula Euro Open regional trophy, and of course in the regional trophy we're going to be seeing races all over Europe, and of course it started in Silverstone last week. Monza here tonight in the F2 cars, and of course next week we go to Azerbaijan for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in the city of Baku, and that's going to be a very intriguing one as well. Of course, the remaining races in terms of the regional championship here for the Formula Euro Open is of course Monza here racing tonight, obviously Baku next week. Then we travel to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia for the Spanish Grand Prix, and then we head to Portimao for the Portuguese Grand Prix, and that will conclude the Formula Euro Open. And then of course we go to the third and final regional championship, which of course is the America's Cup, and in the America's Cup we will be seeing racing action in Brazil, and of course that is the next unique race, and it's going to be a big one. I can confirm that. Miami would be the next race there, and then of course Canada, and then the final race on the calendar is Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is definitely going to be an intriguing one, just based on my own opinions on the track itself and what it's like for racing. So it's going to be an interesting one. Well, here we go now on the formation lap in the feature race. Kev Rusky is on pole position with Emexite alongside. Stephen is currently in P3 with White Racer in P4, Tony in P5, and I'm looking at this, and the qualifying results are a little bit out of order, and this is a random grid. I don't think it was meant to be a random grid for the feature race. Someone have to correct me, because obviously in terms of F2 knowledge, I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to F2. So, but yeah, Kev Rusky getting an absolute break of dreams here, because he's going to be starting from pole position. Stephen on a set of the mediums, he's going to be starting from P3, so he's in a great position. And then you got Ryan Berry, who took the win in the sprint race. He's down in P8. Onto the line will come everyone now, and of course Kev Rusky is going to be the man on pole position. Emexite alongside Stephen there in P3, White Racer in P4. As we wait for those 5 red lights to get us underway here in the feature race. And here we go, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway here for the feature race in Monza. Big snap there from Emexite and loses the spot early on to Stephen, who's trying to defend from White Racer as Tony has to settle in behind Stephen there around the outside. Oh my god, what on earth? What did I just see in the turn? Nah, that is not on. Turn 1, what did I just see? What's that, W Sab? I'm rewinding the stream. I am rewinding the stream. That is not on there. Virtual safety car out here on lap 1, but my god, turn 1. What on earth happened there? Virtual safety car ends. We are back racing once again, but at what cost? Early on, absolutely pandemonium. Trying to look back at the stream and find out what happened. As yeah, that was W Sab. W Sab, absolutely. That to me, that's not on. That is 100%. In my opinion, I won't speak. I won't speak on it. I'll leave it to the stewards. But yeah, back in the race once again. Kev Rusky has managed to pull a gap on the rest of the field. After that instance, that's a new fastest lap for the race. We're going to see a lot of guys coming into the pits momentarily to possibly get a new front wing. And yeah, Emexite is in. JP continues on. Emexite picks up a 5-second time penalty, hits the speed limit line as well. But yeah, Risky on Newgarden here. Risky down the inside. Risky moves from Risky. Little bit of contact there, and more contact. And look at Julie Show around the outside getting that move done, and N89 getting a double overtake there on not only Newgarden but also Julie Show coming out of the Retafilio. As we got W Saab, obviously the man caught up in all of it, and no, W Saab absolutely caught on stream there. That move was not on that many cars, and not what we want to see here in VSL, not at all. And Kev Rusky is absolutely flying away as Speedway Racer currently in P2, Stephen in P3, Acorn in P4, Tony currently in P5, JP in P6, Ryan Berry in P7, as Risky is out of this race and has triggered a full course safety car. And yeah, Lap 3 of 15. We are under safety car conditions. Kevreski obviously picking up a time penalty as well, and it's a full course drive-through penalty. And yeah, that is going to drop in well down the order. Oh, Stephen currently keeping it penalty free is in P2. And of course, you've got Ryan Berry in P3. And obviously, in terms of getting to the end of this race, I mean, Kevreski, obviously, he does have that drive-through, so he is going to drop back to the back of the pack. But the ability to be... Oh, no, got him with a drive-through as well. These guys are not looking at their deltas and making sure that they stay in the green and not tip into the red. But yeah, I was going to say, Kevreski, obviously he can make the pit stop and jump onto a set of mediums, which of course will get to the end of the race. And he can get to the end perfectly fine. So as long as the other guys, need to pit again. Obviously, Tony doesn't, Acorn doesn't. That's a very late call, and that's a deserved 5-second right there. That is not the correct pit entry there from Kevreski, and it was caught on stream as well. So it looks like Ryan Berry going to be peeling off into the pits as well. Maybe we'll see N89. No, he's going to stay out, as is Newgarden. So they're going to stay out, and they're going to take the race lead and P2 out on track. So this is going to be intriguing now. Kevreski, he needs to make that drive through, as does Newgarden. Acorn now up into P4, Y Racer into P5, and Tony into P6 as Stephen comes out in P7, and looks like Ryan Berry had a bit of a snap there, because he's dropped quite a bit further off the back of Stephen there, so he's definitely had a snap coming out of the pit lane. And JP wasn't close enough to get the jump on him, but look how close it actually was in the end. So Ryan Berry there, fortunate to not lose a spot to JP. Julie Show in P10 with W Sab in 11th and M Excite in 12th. Of course, our only DNF thus far is, of course, Speed Risky. Out of this race early on, lap 4 of 15. We're under safety car conditions as we wait for everyone to catch the back of the pack. Let's have a little look over and see what's going on in Tier 1 momentarily. Let's see how Tier 1 is getting on. Of course, they are on lap 11 of 15 in their feature race. Currently, it looks like Yaham leading the way there, 4.5 seconds ahead of Faxi, as Casper is currently in P3, and Casper's been doing very consistent work in Tier 1 as of late, and of course no penalty to his name, so he might be able to jump up to P2 in this race. As Keys are around as well in Tier 1. Absolutely heartbreaking and for him, and yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on as N89 comes into the pits and picks up a 5-second time penalty. Not what he wants at all, but he's going to give up the valuable track position and fall down the order. Lap 5 of 15, Kevreski leads the way, but of course has a drive-through penalty. Acorn is effectively the net race leader. You have Stephen on a set of the soft compound tyres. Ryan Berry on a set of softs as well. He, remember, was the man who won the sprint qualifying the sprint race, and he's currently in P6. So yeah, eyes on Stephen and Ryan Berry on those soft tyres, but of course the penalty from Tony and the fact that Tony and Ryan Berry are teammates, could we see a bit of team tactics here between Tony and Ryan? Potentially get Ryan ahead of Stephen here. Time will tell. Of course, safety car is going to be out for another lap here, as we're still waiting on the grid to catch up. Of course, N89 did make his pit stop. He's on a set of softs, as is Newgarden, but of course they have a time penalty to their name. MXite currently down in P10 trying to close up, as is Julie Show in P11. W Saab currently down in P12, and potentially could be under pressure to really catch up to the back of the pack, as Kev is into the pits. Kev into the pits, and of course he's not going to serve his drive-through penalty, so this is changing to soft tyres, that's for sure. And yet there is the soft tyres. Of course, he did pick up a 5-second time penalty as well, so he's getting rid of that and putting on a set of the soft compound tyres. So Kev will come back out, and MXite picks up a 5-second time penalty. Will Kev get out ahead of Julie Show? No, Julie Show is going to overtake Kev, as Kev is leaving the pit lane. So Julie Show in a fantastic position, really, to gain some good points over Kev overall in terms of the championship. But of course, in terms of the regional championship, I'm just going to bring up the standings once again. Regional championships, we are seeing that what's called second place in the regional championship is of course Y Racer, who is currently up in P2, and Acorn is currently P3 in the regional championship. He's up in P1. So big performances from Y Racer and Acorn in this second of the regional championships, and of course that is obviously something that these guys are going to be going for, even if the overall championship's not going good for them. They want a good performance in the regional championship. Safety car is in this lap, so we'll stay on board with Y Racer as we wait for Acorn to get us back under green flag conditions once again. As it looks like Acorn potentially... No, he's not gone yet. Leaving it late to go on the exit of Parabolica. That could cause a few things in the back. As, yep, we are back racing once again. Look at Y Racer immediately on Acorn. Going to go to the outside, heading in towards turn number 1. It's going to be 3 wide as Tony is on the inside. 3 wide into turn 1. Acorn, Tony, Y Racer around the red Filio, out breaking himself goes Y Racer, and he's going to lose out there. Ryan Berry does get through on O'Steven. O'Steven there caught up with JP. Contact, and O'Steven dropping down behind JP and JP, sorry, it's called contact there with O'Steven, and they drop down behind Julie Show, I should say. That is not good for those two in terms of them wanting to get themselves back up the order in terms of the regional championship. Currently, as it stands, we have a 2.6 second gap between Julie Show and O'Steven here. So there is a bit of a gap that has formed. Ryan Berry now in a fantastic position on lap 7 of 15. He's on the back of Acorn. Tony does have a penalty to his name, so Tony will have to, concede the race lead at some point due to the penalty, as Ryan Berry takes a very wide line through the exit of Ascari. As we go through Parabolica, Speed Y Racer currently in P4. Close enough to the back, a little bit of a slide there from Y Racer coming through Parabolica as he looks to close up to Ryan Berry. Here comes Julie Show on N89R for P5. Of course, he's going to get done on penalties as it currently stands, but Julie Show makes that move done. Acorn gets the move done. Oh, actually, Julie Show there loses out because breaking a bit too hard. N89 able to hold it and actually get that position back from Julie Show. So Julie Show not getting his own way here, and Julie Show going to be staying down in P5 as Tony has managed to get back through on Acorn into the De La Rocha chicane, and that is going to open things up here. Ryan Berry right in behind us on soft tyres. It's going to be very intriguing indeed. As Ryan Berry, oh, look how much grip he's got on those tyres, able to outbrake these guys, carry more speed through the corners, and he's in the slipstream now of Acorn. Does he get close enough to potentially look for a move into Ascari? That is the question. Doesn't look like it, but he is outbraking these guys on those soft tyres, so he's definitely needs to be careful. Make sure he doesn't go into the back like what happened in the sprint qualifying, where we saw O'Stephen go into the back of Ryan Berry coming into Parabolica on the final lap in the sprint race. But as it currently stands, look at the grip that Ryan Berry has, absolutely flying through Parabolica. And now we're going to be seeing possibilities here for both Ryan Berry and Acorn as they close up to Tony up ahead. Acorn, he's going to send it down the inside, breaking down. Does he run a little bit deep? No, he actually makes the apex perfectly fine. But look at the switchback here from Ryan Berry, and Ryan Berry's going to go side by side with his teammate. And if I'm Tony, I'm letting Ryan Berry go, because realistically with that time penalty, I'm not going to be taking the win. I'm going to let my teammate go through there. But Tony holds on to P2, which of course is going to hold off Ryan Berry for the time being. Julie Shaw has managed to get back through on N89R for P5 as JP and O'Stephen side by side through the Lesmos. Through Lesmo 1, JP on the inside as O'Stephen's going to try and hang it all the way around the outside for the second Lesmo. Job done there for JP, but with DRS we're going to see O'Stephen come back at him as Tony up ahead down the inside into Ascari. They're caught on each other, need to be careful as here comes Ryan Berry through on Acorn, and Acorn losing out massively here as he drops down to P6. Acorn falling down the order as it looks like, yeah, O'Stephen now in this train, and Y-Racer looking at the back of Ryan Berry as well for P2, but going wide onto the dirty part of the track and losing the car almost. And of course that is going to allow Julie Shaw and N89 to get through and back into a good position. Ryan Berry right now needs his teammate to do the right thing and let him go, because right now Julie Shaw is in behind Ryan Berry, and Ryan Berry, remember, scored 8 points in the sprint race. He needs as many points as possible, and he needs to kind of let's call it, if he wants to take a regional championship, he needs to start picking up some wins here. Julie Shaw, the winner of the first race in the Formula Euro Open, and of course Julie Shaw looking for back-to-back wins, and if Julie Shaw gets ahead of Ryan Berry, Julie Shaw is on for a second win in the regional championship. Kev Rusky all the way down in P12 looking for a move on Speed Newgarden for P11, and it is going to take it. As long as these guys finish the race, they are going to be taking points here. O'Stephen once again overtaken by JP for P6. JP now up the order, and look at that, Y-Racer going very wide off the exit of Ascari. And yeah, up ahead, Julie Shaw looking at the back of Ryan Berry here for P2. And now, yeah, JP and once again O'Stephen around the outside of Parabolica. Look at O'Stephen go, holding it around the outside. Job done there for O'Stephen. Does he have DRS? No, it's actually JP that has DRS as they run down in towards the Retafilio chicane. It's going to be JP on the inside. O'Stephen going to try and hang it around the outside. Does not get what he needs there, but good traction. He could be on to try and get that position back, and he just doesn't get the traction that he needs. Yellow flag is out as W Saab there loses control of the car. Kev Rusky is into the pits as a virtual safety car. Kev Rusky with a 5-second time penalty once again. The Middle East and Asia Pacific Trophy winner picking up his fair share of penalties here in this race. Obviously not not getting the braking down here in these Formula 2 cars, and now is paying the price for it. It is, of course, a virtual safety car, not a full course safety car. So we are going to go back to green flag racing, and once again we are under green flag conditions as Tony still leads the way. I'm going to check, does Tony have a 5 second? Yes, he does. Tony does have a 5 second time penalty to his name as he's under pressure now from his teammate Ryan Berry, who's closing up to him on the run down in towards Parabolica. Ryan Berry will get DRS on Tony here, and Newgarden out of the race, and that's brought out a safety car here on lap number 11, about to be lap number 12, and interesting calls to be made now. Does anyone come into the pits? Julie Show does. White Racer doesn't. N89 does. Kev Rusky with a drive-through penalty. JP comes into the pits as well. Interesting. Oh, Steven stays out, White Racer stays out, and Ryan Berry stays out, and of course Tony stays out as well on those medium compound tyres. And this is going to be intriguing in terms of the late strategies in this race. Acorn is going to be released from his boxes. Julie Show is not on a fresh set of soft tyres like JP, Acorn and N89, but 2 lap old is not that bad either. So Julie Show, slightly worn tyres, but they'll be perfectly fine to the end of the race. It's a case of whether or not Julie Show comes under pressure from the likes of JP and Acorn in behind. And of course the other thing we have to keep an eye on is, of course, the when the safety car decides to come in, as the safety car is going to catch up with the leaders, of course, on the next lap, but the gap between Julie Show and O'Steven is 27 seconds. And yeah, Julie Show might not have enough time to catch up. We're going to have to wait and see. Tony is on the run down to Parabolica right now. Julie Show is just coming through the second Lesmo. I would assume Julie Show could catch up to the park, and of course JP and Acorn as well. If they don't, then they have big problems for the final laps, because obviously the safety car, I don't think we're going to see the safety car stay out much longer. Oh, Steven and Y Racer into the pits themselves. So now we're going to see where they come out relative to Julie Show. Julie Show coming through Parabolica right now. Oh, Steven and Y Racer are leaving the pit lane now, so it's a case of, do they get out ahead of Julie Show here? Julie Show will have the speed and does get ahead of O. Steven. And O. Steven looked like he had a bit of a squirrely exit there, so O. Steven could be under a bit of pressure from JP in behind. In fact, no, he doesn't. He stays in a good position there. Julie Show does get jumped though by Y Racer, so Y Racer definitely looking good right now. Ryan Berry in a strong position, but of course on those worn tyres, it's going to be difficult for Ryan Berry to take this race win ahead of Y Racer, Julie Show, O. Steven in behind on fresh soft tyres. 20-second time penalty for N89, who gets speeding penalty, and that's a 20-second one. Safety car is in this lap. Julie Show still off the back of the race leaders, and honestly, if I am up here with obviously Tony, Ryan Berry, I am not waiting for the safety car to come in. I am just getting ready to go immediately so that these guys do not catch up. And it looks like that is the plan from the pair of them. Obviously Tony needs to do this so he can get a chance at a podium here. Through Parabolica they come, and Tony's going to back up his teammates slightly. This is not going to work out well for Tony. He needs to go. He needs to go now as the safety car is in. And again, there we go. Tony has gone, and the gap between Tony, well, Ryan now and Y Racer is 5 seconds. That's going to close down to around about 4 seconds by the time we break into turn 1. Fresh soft tyres will pull Y Racer up to Tony and Ryan Berry, and of course Julie Show as well. 3.8 the gap, 3.3 now, and 3.2 as yeah, you can see a lap car in the middle of these guys, so that could play a factor here. But as it currently stands, it looks like Ryan Berry is on for a perfect result here. Sprint race and of course feature race victory. I wanted to go on to the fastest lap, see who's got the fastest lap, and there's of course Kev Rusky, who does have the fastest lap, currently down in P11. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. Is a 5 second for both Tony and Speed Y Racer, and the gap is 5.3 seconds between Julie Show and Tony. So right now Tony is holding on to P2 in this race. So that is the way it is looking right now, as we got Ryan Berry all over the back of Tony here for the race lead on track. But those fresh softs on Y Racer and Julie Show in behind are going to bring them into play. And if I'm Tony, I mean, unless you can get that 5 second removed, it's going to be a case of, oh no, Tony, what is that all about? Tony with a 5 second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He already had a 5 second time penalty. Absolutely throwing away the race on the final lap. And my God, what have we just seen there? Oh, Stephen with the fastest lap of the race. Big thing from him to do there, as Y Racer closing up to Ryan Berry. But Ryan Berry doesn't have a time penalty. Y Racer does. As Y Racer, unless he can get that time penalty removed, he is going to drop off the podium as it currently stands. Potentially, depending on how much he gets held up by Ryan Berry here, potentially could drop behind JP and end up in P5. We'll have to wait to see how that unfolds. But through the first Lesmo for the final time here in Monza, Ryan Berry still leads. He wants to take this win out on track, but that is not going to happen with the grip that Y Racer has in comparison to him. And he's going to look to try to go for this move around the outside in towards Ascari. Is it going to be a job done for Y Racer? I think it will be, but Ryan Berry will settle down knowing that he has the race win on penalties. This is the battle now, as we're going to see if old Stephen can get close enough to Julie Show to potentially go for the final, well, to get P2 in this race. Of course, a little bit too far back, so doesn't look like it's going to be possible. But through the final corner, through Parabolica one more time, it is Speed Y Racer coming across the line to take the victory out on track. Will be Ryan Berry who takes victory in the feature race. Julie Shaw will come to second. Oh, Stephen there in third. And Speed Y Racer does drop to P4 in the end. JP in P5. Acorn in P6. N89 coming through and should get... Actually, no, this will be interesting because N89 has a 20-second time penalty, so we'll have to wait and see as M-Excite, oh, for the final corner, loses the car through Parabolica, and Tony's gone into Excite as well. That has actually cost Tony P7 in this race, I can't lie. Of course, 1.6 seconds was the gap between Tony and N89 there, so that contact definitely cost him that final position. And my God, what a chaotic race that was. And my God, yeah, it's going to be some big talking points after this race, that is for sure. But it is that man, Ryan Berry, who takes victory in both the sprint and the feature race. And of course, Ryan Berry takes away all of the points in terms of the racing points. Of course, old Stephen does take the fastest lap points for the feature race with that fastest lap attempt at the end there on fresh softs. But that is the second of the special races they're done and dusted here in the VSL Tier 2 Formula Euro Regional Open. So, of course, here is the final results in the race. It is Ryan Berry who takes the win ahead of Julie Shaw in second place. Oak Stephen comes home to complete the podium. Then, of course, we got Speedway Racer coming through in P4. And, in fact, it was JP who actually snuck through and took the fastest lap at the end there. So, JP P5 with the fastest lap. P6 goes to Akon. N89 gets P7 with Tony in P8. M Excite in P9. W Sab in P10 with Kev Rusky in P11. Now non-finishers were Speed Newgarden and Speed Risky. And that of course brings an end to the action here in Tier 2. And of course next week we will be going racing once again as we head to the third race in the Formula Euro Open Regional Championship. So of course we will be going racing to Baku, to Azerbaijan. We will be back in the Formula 1 cars for that race, so definitely going to be a bit more normalized for the next race, but we're going to head to Azerbaijan. Of course the castle section can be very chaotic at times, and we're going to see who's going to be mastering Baku next week. Of course, I believe Rando will be back to take you through the action in Tier 2 next week, but of course, if he isn't, then of course I'll be back once again. But until then, guys, I have been Ivor Bryn Mike. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we are so close to 200 subscribers here on VSL, the Virtual Sim League's YouTube channel. We're going to try and hit 200 before the end of the season, absolutely. But yeah, until next time, guys, I've been Ivor Bryn Mike. We'll catch you for round number 8 next week at Baku. Until then, guys, goodbye.